opposed to publicizing, as it had expected, what it will do if the debt ceiling is not raised. With us now, Republican Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, a member of the Budget and Banking Committees. Senator, you've seen what's happened on the House side. The Speaker has sweetened the bill in terms of getting more Tea Party support, but Democrats are calling it a poison pill with this balanced budget amendment. What is your reaction to what's happening over there and the fact that the Democratic leaders say it is a non-starter in the Senate?
Well, the problem with the Democratic leadership is everything's a non-starter, including a budget. We've gone for 2 years without a budget, despite the fact that the law requires them to produce a budget.
But what happens now, assuming that it doesn't
decided
pass?
Not to do that. Well, I think John Boehner's going to get the votes to pass this. He made a major change overnight that I think is something that would put us on a path to a balanced budget. It's still not perfect, but frankly, it's real progress. And now this will be the second time that House Republicans have passed an increase in the debt ceiling with real serious attempts to get our fiscal house in order. And Senate Democrats simply just don't want to meet on this. The president, of course, seems to have just completely marginalized himself. So let's see if the House does pass it. I think they will. I think
Senator,
it would have.
I agree it will pass the House. I think that he now says that they have the votes. They're working on the rule. I mean, assuming that it does not pass the Senate, then what? Do Mitch McConnell, do others in the leadership sit down with Harry Reid and try to work something out over the weekend?
Well, I think what ought to happen is that at some point Harry Reid and some Democratic senators ought to recognize that, you know, something's got to pass both chambers. It's got to be able to pass the House. And the House has done its work twice under this scenario, which you and I both agree is likely to happen. When has the Senate produced a plan that they've even willing to vote on? What I'm hoping is that the Senate Democrats will recognize that, you know, it probably ought to be something pretty close to John Boehner's plan.
Well, if John Boehner's plan has this balanced budget amendment, we're told at least that that's not going to be passed by the Senate. Well, and that's
you know,
pretty clear.
I think when the American people weigh in on this, we might get a slightly different outcome. Remember, the public overwhelmingly supports the idea of balancing our budget. The public overwhelmingly supports a balanced budget amendment. The last time we had a Democratic president, he embraced the idea and, in fact, helped to achieve a balanced budget. Why this is suddenly such a radical idea? It's only a radical idea within the Democratic caucus of the Senate and maybe the House, but it's not a radical idea in America.
Senator Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
And who had the worst week in Washington? That's next.